Welcome to Tree Hustle Episode 5. This is Trees' Bartleby,
Ricky Tuckett.
And Scott Wharton.
and we're going to do. This is going to be a little bit different than the other Tree Hustles that we've done because it's pretty much just one topic, and that is climbing pine trees. That's kind of what we're looking at here. So we've got about a 30-minute raw footage from the start. As you can see here, here's me climbing up the pine, getting my ascent going, and then all the way back down to the bottom. Then after that, we're going to go through some negative rigging. I'm going to try to point out some mistakes as well as things that I do to keep me safe. And obviously Scott and Ricky are welcome to point out whatever they'd like as well.
Well, I'm in it to learn. I think there's not much insight that I can give on this on climbing, so I'm in it for the learning experience like others. So.
Well, I mean,
Guess
I
I'll be
think
here
there's
for good questions for beginners and newcomers to this knowledge.
But even though like I've always had a beginner climber teach me things, I've
And,
always had a beginner point out things that I didn't see or something like that,
And this is where I'm at. This is actually the first time I ever climbed a pine, and I'm right next to Treeses. I mean, I'm a lot lower than where he's at.
I
but-
think you actually see his top, like when he takes out a top in here. I think we watched that happen.
But I mean, as far as being a new climber, my first contract is with doing all these pines, and it's an experience for sure.
Yeah, the pines are, when you first get into them, I think they can be kind of freaky because it's just this big straight up pole, and you don't usually start with a set climb line. You just spike up it like I'm doing here. But you get down to the point where you're really comfortable on standing on your spikes. See how I lean back a lot? See how my legs kind of straight back there?
Mm-hmm.
That's the ultimate position. So now, see what I'm doing with this is a big part of the reason I'm trying to get you to watch this here is because see what I'm doing with my climb line there?
Yeah.
Setting it above, right? Instead of keeping it right at my hip.
So it's
So I've got two, see there we go, one, and then I'll get out my knot and tie that. So I think I go 4 up. I'm lighter, so I do more wraps because it takes more wraps to catch something that's lighter on these knots than it does. A heavier thing will make the knot grab.
Okay.
Mhm.
So,
I get what you're saying.
so for me, I'm so light. I'm 150 or less. A range like in a 10-pound, 140 to 150, depending on the time of year and if I'm depressed or not. Just kidding. No, but just depending on what's going on, I'll go about 10 pounds. And I've noticed that if I go 3 on my Prusik knot that I'm holding with my right hand there, that it won't catch as good and I'll get a lot of slipping. Like it'll just slip automatically. All right, here we go with our first cut. My saws. I put a 16-inch bar on it because that was all I had available as far as chains. Runs like shit with a 16. A 12, it murders it. So slow. I would already been done with that. Yeah, we end up taking this maple out below, so don't worry, folks. It's
part of the job.
part of the job. Just like get up there and put stuff on the ground was kind of what my whole deal was. It was first day back at work. I was itching to climb.
Okay, I see. So you're still above your cut, or above your lanyard.
Yeah, my climb line's above. See, and now I don't ever really even unattach my lanyard. Oh, there I am pointing at you or something. Oh, I think I'm telling you to do something.
Oh, that was actually a very nervous point in time for me because I didn't quite understand what was happening with making a second tie-in point for myself using my climb line. I had a hard time grasping that, and
Yeah.
then I made a small cut. And you looked over at me and you said, "Hey, did you tie in twice?"
Uh-huh.
And I fucking just about pissed myself, and I was like, "Nope." And you're like, "What the fuck?" And then you just kept climbing, and then
I remember hearing that.
everything clicked. Everything clicked though. I looked over at your setup and I saw how you like re-prusik yourself and
Uh-huh.
reset yourself and just tied back in, and it clicked, and then I did it, and then it made sense, and then I started going up the tree, as you can see. Well, not right here, but as you can see later.
That's exactly what that was.
Mm-hmm.
That was me like, are you tied in twice? Yeah. That kind of pissed me off.
But
Yeah, I heard that from the ground. You were pretty pissed off.
But
This is actually the first job in Tree Hustle, I think, that I was on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Mhm.
Yeah. Scott was on the ground too. Do you
Yeah.
like watching them logs come down?
Yeah, I like watching them come down. You move so fast though. There's no keeping up with you. You're making so much fly. There's no chance to get under the tree and really like
Yeah.
cut anything up or stage it.
Yeah, I mean, he had the Bobcat too. And, you know, with this next week coming up, like, I'll be in that Bobcat a lot more,
Mhm.
if need be.
Yeah.
Especially if he's, you know, gone out chipping or, you know, dropping chips.
Right, we were still kind of getting organized.
Yeah, this week I
slowly
think
the
was
first
just a groove in, you know, especially on these big projects. Don't get in there and expect to just be champs your first week.
I think really by Friday, which usually Friday is the day that people lag the most, that's when we really got our groove.
Yeah, we got a
Everybody was
good
very
groove.
cohesive.
So hopefully everybody played it safe this weekend, doesn't come back with a weird attitude on Monday, and we can just continue that groove.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I
Absolutely.
think that's
And we got
that's
some
super
strategies
important.
too.
Yeah, this next week we're going to be doing a lot of negative rigging, which is nice actually. We'll take some good video because at the end of this video, we're going to do it next week. We're going to do another pine series. So this video was taken not with the idea to critique it in mind. So there's probably a lot of mistakes and there's probably a lot of things that we could point out if we watch here and say that's not right, you know. And then with the next video, I can try to keep that stuff in mind and film with the idea that we're going to critique it and see how much better I can do as far as my safety. You know what I'm saying?
Right, being more technical.
Yeah, being more technical. Because at the end of this video and some negative rigging, there's some serious boo-boos. No, it's, I mean, yeah, pretty serial. Like there's just one blatant error that I just keep doing over and over again, not even knowing it.
So
Got you.
And
you're making
so,
that cut kind of low. I mean, just like a little bit below the hip, and I haven't made any cuts like that. Is that like a fairly normal thing, or
yeah, I mean,
just wherever?
I think that right now you need to keep cutting wherever you feel comfortable.
Mhm.
And you just need to get air time because that's what it is. If you feel like you can control and make a cut at your knee without cutting your knee, if you really feel like you can do that, then I don't see why you can't do that.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Making cuts at face level is just always a no-no.
Oh yeah, I don't do that at all.
Yeah.
That freaks me out. Seeing
Yeah.
a chain spin that close to my face in general.
Yeah. Also see my work positioning there. I just put a notch facing that way and then I came around to the other side.
Mhm.
So I'm always going to try to get on the side of the tree where I think the branch is going to go the other side of the tree.
I see,
right.
and it did pop that
Yeah,
way.
and it did pop that way. I put that notch. You know, I probably could have made the cut there just fine, but that is, I just try to stay away, especially if that thing like would have not did a proper pop and peeled for some reason, which I don't see why it would have done that, but what if it did? It could have came back and caught me right there in the area of where it was, hit my knee, hit my foot, made me gap out, you know, just little things.
Which all that weight and centrifugal force going your way, it all.
Yeah, I mean, it goes down,
Yeah.
so it's not like,
But
Yeah.
in the case it
Yeah.
did go wrong.
I've had a lot of branches knock my spikes out because they hit my foot on the way
Right.
out, you know,
Mhm.
on the way down. But that's all it is. It's just a hit. And that thing keeps going. Your foot's out. You just got to put your foot back in. If you're good at spiking, if you're comfortable in your work positioning, one spike can come out any time, and it shouldn't.
Well, the more seasons you are, the better your instincts are. Those tree man instincts, like we've talked about a lot
Yeah.
recently, just kind of kick in, and it's
Mhm.
just second nature to get your, when you've been climbing that long, it's second nature to find your foot back to that pole, back to that tree.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it's second nature to catch yourself. Ooh, look, there's a hanger. Oh no, it goes down. See you later. It's second nature to catch yourself, 100%.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
you get good at it. I've never fallen very far. I think you guys. Wait, Spencer. I think. Did you see me swing off something before?
I've seen you swing off actually when we were
Like-
up with Jason Vincent.
That's right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we.
But it wasn't a fall, I don't think. But it was funny.
It was like a weird slip out, but it was like one of those like you kind of looked at it and like was like, this is gonna be a silly one.
Yeah.
Like-
yeah. I kind of knew it was coming.
Yeah. Like you can definitely like working on the ground with you as long as I have. You can definitely kind of read where your mind's going
Yeah.
when you make certain decisions. And I've actually applied making a notch in a tree. You sent me up on an oak to clean up a couple branches, and you were concerned about me doing it at first because of the potential of the way it was for it to swing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I applied what I watched you do from the ground and just made a notch in the side, and then went
Yeah.
around to the other side like we talked about earlier.
Yeah. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah. Getting out of the way is just really. Getting out of the way of your cuts is.
Crucial.
It's your most probably important thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is to make sure you're out of the way of your cuts and they're not gonna land on
Backlash.
Yeah,
you.
but that's
Yeah.
just common sense with.
But it's not.
Should
That's the
be.
problem. It's so amazing how many times you see people in the way of their cuts.
You know, a thought of that
Yeah.
that makes me really kind of like nervous a bit. It's cranes.
Cranes can be like that. But when we do a crane job, we'll go up together. We'll probably do the first two together. Or I'll go up and strap it and make you cut it.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, all you gotta do is just say, cut it here. You can see how I strap it. You can see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be fun when we can get to some crane work and take some straight video of that,
Mm-hmm.
of how that works.
Yeah, that's going to be definitely interesting. I've seen you on cranes before, and I've recently heard that you don't like cranes, and that's what blows my mind is because of how good you are at it.
Yeah, I only like cranes if I'm working with certain people. Jory
Mhm.
Wheeler,
Oh, Jory's the man.
yeah, I'll run his crane any day just because he just. I mean, it gets to the point where he doesn't really give a shit about his crane. He just gives a shit about making sure that nothing's gonna hit you.
Mhm.
Right,
You
that's
know.
good.
Which, fuck it, yeah, hell yeah. That's just like,
You can
yeah,
repair
a
that
crane is a
machinery.
very expensive piece of equipment to not give a shit about. And of course, he gives a shit about his crane. We stay within guidelines, but I've had crane days with Jory where the easiest way to take the pick was just to fucking max his crane every single time, every single pick, 15 picks. But it was just the easiest way. And that's kind of how I climb. I usually try to search out the easiest route. And if that means like putting the crane at its max every time, but that's the thing, I never went over it. I always knew where to draw the line and meet that max. But even then, meeting a max on a crane consistently is very scary. Most operators won't do that if they don't know you and they haven't worked with you. They won't.
Right.
They won't meet their max. They'll
Mhm.
just try to stay way under it. So, I feel like crane jobs get really freaking boring.
Yeah.
Also
very-
just
very
working with so
slow-paced.
many other crane guys and working with somebody who's really good at I guess what Jory was really good at was like reading the weight, but not reading the weight like looking at it and going, oh, that's 3,000. He just knew how to like feel the tip of his boom and react with the piece of wood. So like that's what was so cool about Jory. It was like he was literally sitting next to you working on the tree with you with his crane was just an extension of his arm, like his
Yeah.
fingers or something. Like that's how good he was at it.
He was like a spider.
Yeah.
Man and machine.
Straight up like a fishing spider. Like he
Mhm.
could, but he didn't have to look at his LMI. He could just feel what his boom was doing and know that like, oh, that's our max pressure on this piece or whatever, and he could always just fly that bitch away, and so perfectly it would just like levitation acts every fucking time. It was like, a lot of guys, when you probably notice how much bouncing me and that one guy had going
Right,
on.
Yeah.
Every pick was a big old boing like bounce.
Oh,
Never
sure.
happens with Jory.
Oh yeah.
Usually I just finish my cut and that thing just like
sails away.
it floats away. It's just like,
Mm-hmm.
no.
Yeah, we've done some dead pine removal out in Sundance, Utah with him, and that was a pleasure to watch.
Yeah, it's really fun working with Jory. But that's totally getting off pine topic.
Absolutely. Oh,
But that's
I did,
all right.
mhm.
You did what?
I did have a question about. So you told me about undercuts before doing your overcut. Oh, here's me taking out that top.
Oh, yeah. Oh, cool. Oh, here it goes.
Yeah, I'll ask this after a minute, but that was an exciting time. That was definitely exciting.
Oh, there's another one going.
There's another top going right around me. And but the way you're doing your cuts on this, so it's not peeling, it pops off, but you're doing it with kind of an overcut or a dramatic undercut. It seems like when you're hitting your saw, like it doesn't peel like I would think. Oh, that one kind of
That one
peeled.
peeled. It depends on the situation.
Mhm.
So I'm doing like zip cuts or jet cuts a lot. I feel like, see, there's me cutting over my head. No. Which it's on the other side of the tree. I could have walked up, I guess. Justifications, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I might zip cut this one. Yep, I do. See, I just cut it fast. And I just finish the cut all the way.
I see.
And I go from the side and like cut it off. Sometimes you can like take the bottom of your saw like right up at the base of the saw where the blade is, where the blade meets the saw,
Mhm.
and get that at the bottom and then roll the saw over the top. You have your undercut and then you go over the top and then just slice it all the way down. Make sure pull your saw like a couple inches away from the wood so it's not the saw body's not connecting the wood, and you're gonna get the most torque right in that little spot, because that's where the chain's just about to get pulled through
and then get sucked into this.
that's where it's getting sucked in. So that's where your saw is going to want to pull into the tree. And so see what I'm doing there?
Mhm.
Like I'm letting the saw do the chogging, and I'm just trying to get all the way through it, and then that'll usually send the butt down first.
I'm definitely gonna try it
See,
on
that's-
smaller
yeah,
limbs.
that's
too.
sending all the butt ends down first. Boom.
Oh, I see.
I think that's how I end up cutting this whole tree. Actually, we're about to do the top here. You might be doing your top. It's funny, you started your
Oh.
tree before me too. That was awesome.
Oh yeah.
I was
No.
like, I'm gonna do my tree before he does. I knew that I would, but
Well,
that's besides the point. It's because
I
I've been
also
doing
had
it
that-
forever.
I had that time where I had to retie like my crucic and
Yeah.
stuff halfway up the tree.
I knew that it would happen,
Yeah.
but it happened to me where dudes would fucking waste me, and but I would get jealous and pissed off, and
Well, and I mean, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna keep learning, and you're hands down one of the best cutters I've ever seen, and I mean, the only way to be better is to work with people that are better than you,
yep.
and that's what the whole tree hustle is too. Is there are so many people that are so much better than
Yeah,
you.
see, I'm just slicing these.
Oh,
Sorry
yeah.
to interrupt
Oh,
you
you're
there,
good.
but like, just see how I'm like, they're all going straight down.
Yeah,
That's called a jet cut.
yeah, those are pretty sweet looking.
Yeah, that will always send your butt end straight down first. It's really good to do those cuts when you're in a thick forested area, but you can still bomb it
Mm-hmm.
because it sends your butt down first, and you're less likely to catch on things.
Yeah,
So you're gonna get
A
your
lot less
shit. You're gonna get
hangers.
your shit to the ground. Yeah, exactly. Whereas if you're letting your shit go flat and then like cutting it off, it's just gonna like that whole sprawl is gonna catch the whole forest below
Right.
mm-hmm.
and not go anywhere. So
Yeah, I think you're gonna get about halfway down here,
Yeah, I think I'm at about eye level with you when you make the top cut.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
But it was.
Yeah, that was exciting for me too. I'll tell you what. I was like, holy shit, here we go. And it did not look like it was going to go the way that you thought it was. That it did.
Mhm.
I was like, what the fuck are you doing? I thought it looked like it wanted to go the other way.
Yeah.
Especially with that curve that came back. I was like,
And
bold move.
That's exactly what I was looking at too, and that's where Nick Smith has given me the best advice that I took up into the tree with me, because I was at the uphill side of the tree where that bend was,
Yeah.
and then I looked at the way the top was going towards the sun,
Yeah.
and then
That's badass.
Mhm.
That's badass. I've never used that piece of advice in a tree, so that's pretty cool. I've never used that before ever.
yeah, it was interesting. But I mean, it's like you said earlier, working with fresh new climbers, they teach you things that,
Yeah.
and I mean, that makes me pretty warm inside to know that I could teach you something.
Yeah. Yeah, don't let it get to your head, you little shit.
Oh,
I'm just
absolutely,
kidding.
absolutely not. No.
I'm just kidding. You can let it get to your head if you want.
I mean, a little bit.
I mean, I don't think I've met a climber yet that by their second year didn't think they were just like the coolest motherfucking climber ever. But then by your like fourth year, you're like, man, I'm such a loser. Because my second year as a climber, I wasn't good at climbing until like 5 years in.
and
Like, you know, I
Mhm.
mean, really, if we're really being honest here, I was not. It took me a long, like, to get, you could probably do that way faster. I've met climbers that were really good by year 2. Really good. But
Well-
that's because they were lucky to be in that spot that fucking,
I feel like that's
you know.
more or less so what could happen. However, I just got to be patient with it too. Like,
mm-hmm.
that's, I feel like, going to be the most important part, because I've looked at you more specifically in a tree than anybody else, and then when I see other people in a tree, it makes me nervous for people. So when I'm
When
in
you
a
watch
tree,
other people.
sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Like some of it just like it looks so crazy, like you're in more positions than I thought a climber actually gets in, from going a straight 90-degree with the spar of the tree to make a cut,
Yeah.
and just seeing the way branches are, and it's a whole different world actually being in the tree, and then remembering and reflecting certain times where I've watched other climbers. And John Boy Fetus is a good example too. I was there for his first top, and
Dude, but I'll tell you what, that motherfucker learned climbing faster than anybody I ever met.
yeah,
Like, he looked like a 5-year by his 2 or 3 months, but that guy
Mhm.
also had more common sense than anybody I've ever met.
absolutely no.
Like,
He was
It's weird that you can have more common sense, but that guy had like more than anybody I've ever met. Like, he would just come up. Common sense is the ability to come up with simple solutions. That's what common sense is. It's
Mhm.
simple solutions. That guy would come up with the most ridiculous, workable solutions for every fucking
Oh.
problem we ever encountered.
here's the top.
Oh,
I'm
here's
ready
your
for
top.
it.
Here we go.
But yeah, the way that was
Oh yeah,
curving.
you're setting your notch.
Mm-hmm. The way that top was curving, though, it was coming up, but then the top started pointing that way, towards where the where the tips of the top was. You'll be able to see it closer.
Yeah, I mean, I figured what was going on. And I figured that you probably had a better view because, man, I'll tell you what, sometimes you don't really see what's going on until you're, like, it's 1 foot in front of your face,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Like, especially in trees, your perceptions from what's going on in the tree
As
compared to
compared
what...
to Grauman.
Yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot different. The trees are not the same. From the ground in the tree, they're not. It's
I
not
can
the
just
same.
tell watching this footage.
Yeah.
I mean, how ridiculously different your perception is compared to mine on the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And we should get you in some trees.
Yeah, I'm pretty lanky too, so
You would be a good pine climber. Like
I'm
you're
sure.
big and like I honestly wouldn't put you on like no little skinny ass removals,
yeah.
but you could go hog some big boys down for sure.
Yeah, and if you want to try my gear,
Yeah, I'd definitely be down to try it. I just gotta learn all my knots and stuff, make sure I'm as prepared as possible. I don't want to go into it half-assed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you won't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that you won't let me go into it
Yeah.
half-assed.
It's such a serious job that.
The first thing really is to spike something. We should just, like, put some spikes and a harness on you and have you spike up 25 feet or 50 feet, set a rope, come back down.
Mhm.
Okay.
That'll be the first thing.
That's
We
the
can do it on
first
the
thing I
weekend.
did.
We can do it one weekend while we're here. There's plenty of pine trees around here to do it with.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great training ground for you, Spencer. I think while you guys were talking about, people not being as, really good climbers till they're 5 years in or 2 years in, etc. You have a really good training ground here for not just climbing, but all types of rigging and every variable almost that goes into being a climber
On a pine
on
project.
a pine at least is here.
Which is cool, which is really cool that we get to focus on pines for a month
Mhm.
and a half. Because if, if I had the time to focus on just pines every day for a month and a half, I would have taken probably a year of progress on pine trees and put that in that month and a half. Or maybe 2 years, because what we're doing every day is pines, you know what I'm saying? So you're going to get a lot of experience about what's going on.
You guys aren't really used to pine trees where you're from, are you?
I am, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of... I've been fortunate enough to climb everywhere. And in the south and in the Pacific Northwest, there's a lot of straight up and down trees.
Okay.
Mhm.
A lot of them.
In Utah, we did a lot of elm trees, ailanthuses, box elders, cottonwoods.
Yeah.
Don't you that big word, Ricky Tuckett?
Which one?
Ailanthus.
Spell it.
It's ailanthus.
Atlantis.
Ailanthus.
Atlantis?
Is it like
It's
Is
ailanthus.
it like Alanis Morissette tree?
It
They're
smells... They're ugly, man. They're nasty.
Mhm.
It smells like rotten peanut butter.
Stringy,
Yum.
stringy finger psychedelic
Or it
trees.
smells like rotten
String
jizz.
fingers,
I don't know.
psychedelic trees.
Yeah.
Nothing as bad as a Russian olive though. Those are hands
Those are
down.
the worst.
Right.
I thought it would be funny to not funny. I thought it'd be cool to try and woodwork with one of those.
Oh, that was
And I
awful.
tried to put that shit through like a dull planer, and it just ended up burning the wood, and my fucking shot straight up smelled like stink beetle for like a week. It was fucking
Stink
nasty.
beetle?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
straight up.
It's not even a joke. You smell
It's
like
naughty.
like the first thing you want to do is drench yourself in hand sanitizer after even touching them, and they've got thorns on them.
Yeah. Here I am, like bending my bar. Get out, let me go.
Fuck you, Bart.
And then I'm like, peace, Negro Damas. Yeah, here I am. See, this is the point where I'm like, give me a bigger saw. What the heck am I doing? Although it was nice to run a 16, I put a 16-inch bar and chain on my saw, and I'm smelling clutch. I want my 12-inch
Mhm.
back.
Just
Or
12 inch
zippy
sounds,
zippy, and then I'll just bring up the 661 for the real chogs.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if I do this whole tree with just... Do I bring up the big saw?
No. No, you do this whole
No,
trip.
I
Well,
never-
we
I
we
never
ended
done
up
big
leaving
stuff.
it at like a spar and
Yeah.
then took it from the ground.
Yeah. I'm like, go. Trying to push it. There we go. Boink. Oh, not a perfect flat landing. That's because my notch wasn't wide open enough. So my notch was like not shallow because it was very deep, but it was not wide open enough.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have enough face. So.
You were getting some really clean drops off those. They were landing pretty flat, like Lincoln logs falling out of the sky.
Yeah. I love doing that. It's pretty fun, especially when you can stack them right next to each other in a
Oh, yeah.
row.
Oh,
or
here's
on
the
top
top.
of each other. Yeah, here we go.
Man, it took long enough, didn't
Mhm.
it? I mean, how far into this video are we?
I think about 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's see, here we go. We're all watching in silence,
Yeah.
but there's nothing to hear. I'm like, dude, see, look at that. It looks like it's just gonna rock you right in the face.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, whoa, not fun.
I did get a good bounce back and forth.
Oh yeah, you did move. Like, here you go.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh, he's gonna gaff out, and then I was gonna laugh at you if you gaffed out. But no, you actually.
Yeah, you held on
Did
like
that
a
scare you?
cowboy.
How
No.
much it moved?
No, it was great.
You knew?
I was expecting it
Yeah.
because
Oh,
I mean just the
It's
way.
like a little ride, like a little
Yeah.
roller coaster high.
Oh yeah, no,
Like the
I mean,
feeling when it first starts moving, you're like, whoa.
Oh, you can tell he was
No,
excited.
fucking things
He
move.
was up there hooting and hollering.
Oh, just wait till we get, a couple weeks in, then we'll send you up one of these skinny ass motherfuckers. Make
Ooh.
you top that at the top. Just slicing the top off, and you'd be like, boing, it'll lose everything.
oy.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. But I mean, it's like an amusement park ride in a way. Like, I was shaking from excitement and the spikes, and like kind of just had to chill and like let the ride finish before I like was comfortable enough like spiking back down because of like,
Yeah. See, look, I'm already down here. You're still in that same spot. Like, just waiting for it.
just
Yeah. Oh, I remember all those
Mhm.
those feelings, dude. They're real, man. You have to go through that.
holding onto the ride as long as you possibly can. I guess
Yeah.
is the best way to say because I mean you only get your first top once.
Yeah. Oh
And,
yeah.
It was an exciting feeling. Like
I
right from the
can't even
beginning.
remember my first top. Oh wait, yeah, okay, but it wasn't. I actually rigged my first top.
Oh,
Totally,
really?
yeah, totally like.
Off the books.
Anti-climatic.
No, it was a big top. The guy who taught me how to cut, who like taught me how to cut. So there's somebody who taught me how to climb, like how to climb trees, use all my knots, dude. That was in Florida. He taught me about trees, how to prune them. But there's a guy who taught me how to cut, and that was cut down, like that was the basics. And then I relearned everything later on. But the guy who taught me how to cut, he sent me up this fucking tree, and total lazy asshole, but he knew how to cut. And he was like, yeah, you can leave stubs if you want. So I'd fucking stub all my trees and just ladder up that shit. And then he had me like put the rope around the tree over the stubs and like back down some sort of way and cut this big old top out of this like Norfolk pine or some shit.
Mhm.
This was, damn, I wasn't even 21 yet. I was 20 years old, I think. So this is about 8 years ago. So it's kind of fuzzy. But, yeah, it went fine.
I mean,
I was like, here we go.
That's-
Like, the dude thought that I'd been climbing for, I think I lied to him and told him I was like, a couple of years in. I'd done quite a bit of removals, but I hadn't done shit.
and he probably could read it.
No, I think I had him fooled.
You think so?
Yeah. I think he likes to tell people what to do anyway,
Oh, I see.
So, like, that was kind of what, it was kind of, he was instructing me the whole way,
Right.
but he likes to do that. I
It's
think
like a
that-
micromanager.
yeah, but he does it really gently, though, like, not in a bad way.
Okay.
So, like, it was really pretty pleasant working for him because we'd show up on the tree and he'd just sit there on the ground and talk me all the way through this whole fucking tree, explain to me what was going to happen before every cut, explain to me how to make the cut. So, this, like, if you make this cut, it's going to land in that other tree, and then you need to finish your cut, and the butt will come this way and pull it out of the tree. Like, he just knew that what was going to happen. Just like I know it's going to happen now. So then I would do that shit, and that would happen. That's kind of how I learned 6 months of that, I guess.
Wise words.
Yeah. So, he taught me how to, like, whatever. Ooh, that was sweet. Anyways, yeah, he taught me how to climb. But then I went to, Washington and worked with Kyle Tree Climber. And what you see right here is kind of what I learned from him in a way. Just doing these big fat notches, undermining my center of gravity. I don't know. It's been a while since I climbed with him, so I don't know. I could be like really sloppy compared to how they do it.
Mhm.
They're good.
I don't know. Watching you make your cuts on the topic of watching you make that notch is very interesting. I was paying close attention to how you made your wedges meet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's really all about keeping the same angle on your saw.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you make it meet. Your bottom cut, so let's say you finish your bottom cut, pull your saw out, but keep it exactly with your bottom cut, and then just roll the handle. Like, if the handle is pointed at your chest, roll the handle down towards your knees, and then sink your cut. But don't change the plane of your saw. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know if this can make sense on the video because I'm talking. I don't know if that will make sense, but you pull your saw out. Handle is
we're gonna
level.
watch it too.
Yeah. Handle is level with your. I don't think you do see that
No.
technique because this is how you learn. This is how to learn to make your notches meet. Okay. Make your bottom cut. Pull it out. Just pull the bar end out. Just like roll your saw around the tree, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pull your bar end out. Keep the saw right there and rotate the saw. So rotate that handle at chest level and rotate it so it's like pointing down at wherever it needs to be to make your notch. But if
So
all
you're
you do
keeping
is
the bottom.
rotate it, but keep it flat, keep the saw flat, but just rotate it like on an axis, like let's say there's a bolt going through the center of your saw from the top to the bottom, rotating it like that, and then sinking your cut, they're gonna match up every time no matter what. That's what's gonna happen.
Well, let's watch.
So, I don't
See
know
if,
if I do that though. Let's see what I do here.
Mhm.
No, see, I don't do that. I don't rotate it. I'm not doing that technique. But I am keeping that saw. It is that technique, but it's to the point where I know what the angle feels like to make it meet, that I can just put the saw there, or I can pull it out.
Mhm.
You know, this is some negative rigging, so there are some mistakes here that are made. I could have set my rigging lower. That's okay to do. I could have set my rigging probably, I'd say a foot lower, and then I should have had all of my climb gear over the top of my rigging.
I see.
Or, alternatively, I could have my climb, let's say my lifeline, at my knees. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Or just a little lower. But see, I have everything. But I do have a knot that is going to stop it here. So I guess it's really up to how you feel. Like, is your rigging going to slide down that tree? That's the thing that we're worried about. If the rigging slid down the tree, it would take my climb shit with it.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's happened where trees become degloved, is what it's called, where the bark will peel down. You know,
Right.
the bark will come separated at the cambium layer and peel off. And if your climbing is set in the wrong spot, if you're climbing like if your lanyard and your climb line is set at the wrong spot, that's bad news. Like, that will take your shit with it.
Mm-hmm.
It'll hurt you. It could kill you. I don't know. I don't know if anybody's ever died from that. I'm sure. What if you were like up there and you sent your top and then it cinched over your climb line, but you had to escape for some reason because all of a sudden the tree next to you had a freaking thing full of hornets. They were pissed because you brushed it when you sent the top. But all your rigging is cinching all your climb line. You can't get down because it's all stuck in your rigging, and they got this big piece of wood stuck on your, and you're getting just hammered by hornets. What if that happened? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why you need to have your climb gear, your climb shit over your rigging. So I could have actually set my rigging quite a bit lower.
Yeah, that gives me a lot to think about, actually. Like,
Escaping.
yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah, you do have to
I think about
that.
escape routes, like, going up in case, like, a tree, like, doesn't like me from my experience in it.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, though, I've been able to pick and choose more or less so my trees.
Yeah.
The variety makes it nice, which, I mean, the case is never going to be that way either, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Looks like I just start right at the top notch. This is just more negative rigging. Yeah, so tomorrow or this week, we're going to try to gather a lot of really good negative rigging footage. and we'll do a big talk on negative rigging, because to be honest, negative rigging was a big mystery to me until I did it, and I never did it correctly. You know, I did it, but it was still always a big mystery to me. Like there was just like how to do it right.
And I mean, that's also interesting topic from working on the ground with negative rigging with you too. And
Yeah, I mean that's really high stress rope stuff.
And this would be great groundy conversation. Like honestly, like negative rigging with the ground as well. Like there's a
Yeah, we can get a lot of footage of the Porter Wrap, and here I am just like, I hate you, come out, hitting it with my chainsaw, having a little temper tantrum. I don't know if I'm having a temper tantrum, but that's
Tree man rage.
Yeah. Break you. I wonder what I really said. I took the audio off, but I mean, I still have the video.
Probably something vulgar.
Yeah, like you are a piece of dookie fat, and I like to touch butts. Here we go. Oh, now I'm correcting my cut. Do you see how lame that was?
Anticlimactic.
Yeah. Anticlimactic. Should we take this party out for a cigarette, boys?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's do that.
Hey, we did pretty good on this.
Oh, yeah, well. We're still doing. Here, let me.
Back from the cigarette.
Yep, so we got our Nick fix.
The Nick fix.
Mm-hmm.
We are slaves to nicotine.
I've never met Nick Fix, but I hear he's a pretty cool guy.
That's my
I know
favorite
Nick
drummer.
Smith is a pretty cool guy, too.
Yeah, he actually gave me a challenge too. He challenged me to go up to a top and take it out with my handsaw.
Yeah, and hold it.
Yep.
Yep. That is a fun one. I've done that a couple times.
A couple pines.
Couple pines, yeah. I've done it with all sorts of trees. Especially like big, tight trees that are like over all these lines and crap. I'll just go out and whittle them down with, the tips, like big oaks or something like that, until you get enough space to.
Do some drop step.
Ooh, this is a big log.
It's
Going big.
awfully big log.
Would you put like 3 wraps on that?
With that rope, yeah, 2 or 3. We're on a big Porter Wrap. A drum would have been nicer. I don't think we have a GRCS or anything at the point of this video.
GRCS is always nice though.
Yes, especially that lowering bollard, although I don't think it's that strong. I don't really trust that much. It's aluminum,
Yeah.
The Stein makes like a big old mass one. I think I want to get that as our lowering device. I don't want to we'll get a Porter Wrap because they're nice to hold ropes in place and stuff. And you can hook it up to your truck with a sling really easily, and you know what I'm saying? Or you can hook it at the bottom of the tree with a sling. Porter Wraps are nice, but I like those lowering bollards, especially if we're doing big work like this. I don't know why I'm going so big. Probably because I want to get the heck out of the tree. And look at that rope I have. So I guess why not? That rope is rated for the size of that tree, Seriously, that.
Yeah, it is.
Shoot, yeah. So I think it was also the only rope that we really wanted to use on this pine. I feel like this stuff does pretty good with sap. It's got like a wax coating or some. It feels like wax. I can feel the feeling of it. It's Amsteel.
But like smooth.
Yeah, it's like smooth but thick. I do not like the rope.
Smooth and Thick magazine is one of my favorite subscriptions too.
Yep. Smooth and thick. Yeah.
Little secret about Ricky Tucky.
Here to fuck it.
Yep.
Don't look to me to say something.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're just sitting there with that grin,
Is that why y'all brought me onto the crew? To fuck me?
Yep. I'd fuck
fuck
me. Here I am making my little kerfies. And then I'm just like, all right, let's make for rigging. Here we go, boys. Got my little 12-incher. See, now that's a properly running 201. Although I think it's time to bring up the Torno Fire after this cut. I think I do bring it up.
Yeah, and that is a very nice saw.
Yes. Here we go. Make 4 fall off. Yay.
Here we go.
Yay!
Oh, yeah, that one's pretty rocky. Nice.
Yeah, she was dancing a little bit.
She did a little dancey dance.
You make me feel like dancing. I'll dance this far away.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. Looks like I still don't have my rigging tied under my clown line, which is pretty lame, but you know. So anyways, that's what that is.
That's a pretty fancy looking pine. Yeah, and I think it looks like a Torno Fire might be getting sent up.
I think we're getting a Torno Fire appearance here in just a second.
Got the advantage of a Bobcat, I see.
Boom, and we have the Torno Fire. So let's see how I make my notch with this saw. This will be a more accurate saw for making notches and making them meet. Okay, boom, pull it out of there. I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I just wasn't comfortably work positioned.
Now, how effective are you with your pull-out technique, Teresa's?
Not effective. It's always been a problem.
Mm.
I've always been very successful with the pull-out technique.
With the pull-out technique,
Yeah.
well, and that's why you're where you're at.
You
That's
know?
why I'm where I'm at.
You know I was conceived on a pull-out couch, right?
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's ironic.
With bad pull-out technique.
That kind of goes back
That's-
to the Alanis Morissette trees. Isn't it ironic?
Yeah, it is ironic.
Ooh, just slid right out.
Oh, yeah, look at that. See, I just busted out.
Those are,
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't pull it out, I bust it out.
I mean, look at the gap now, though.
Yeah,
It is quite the gap.
big gap. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's what happens after I bust it out. It's left with a big gap.
I mean, it's a nice.
But if you watch here in a sec, I usually tie it up a little bit and then I close the gap.
Got you.
It's
Yeah.
a really nice spread face.
Yeah,
Now, are
it
you
is a
doing
nice
this
spread
because
face.
of the flat Earth?
The Earth is flat. You can actually go to my video list here on YouTube and scroll down my videos and find a video where I prove it.
Oh, can
I
you
mean-
see the edge from up there in some of those trees?
Well, you can see that it's flat. See, if you just look in the video right now, see that it's flat.
Proof.
You can even take the application of what you're doing right now. Those logs are gonna land flat, so
Well, they're gonna go with the rope, so
which goes flat,
which does go flat exactly.
like said Earth.
Which is, yeah, the Earth is flat, okay? And I'm tired of people arguing with me about it. Every day, all the day, every day. They're like, Jesus, why do you believe the Earth is flat? And I go, I don't believe, I know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not only is the Earth flat, but it's the center of the universe, not the
Mhm.
sun.
I mean,
That's a little known fact.
And I'm the center of the flat Earth.
the trees
I
go.
did not know that.
Yeah.
Teresa thinks he knows everything.
I do know everything.
And well,
I do know I'm the center of the flat Earth, which is the center of the universe.
aren't you gonna have a future podcast called "Let Me Teach You About Everything"?
Yeah. Yeah, no, actually, it's going to be called Trees Bartleby, I Know Everything. That's
Mhm.
going to be my podcast.
It's just like the private one from like the times you go into your closet and talk.
Sponsored by Steel. Just
Yeah.
kidding. Not sponsored by Steel.
But order Black Rifle coffee and then on your notes tell them that Teresa Bartleby sent you.
Yes, do that because we do like Black Rifle coffee. Listen to me drink some right now.
Oh, num num num.
Yum, yum, yum. I feel like shooting something.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the
Hashtag
message.
Black Rifle.
I mean-
Hashtag Black Rifle.
Look at your
Just so
corner
Black
flag.
Rifle knows when they watch this video, I have shot a 50 caliber, okay? And if you go in my YouTube videos, you can watch me do it.
That's pretty badass.
So,
Firing 50 calibers and 660s.
and 660s, okay? I bet you that a Black Rifle coffee could make you do that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like
Black Rifle coffee should be the official coffee of lumberjacks everywhere, in my
Yeah.
humble opinion.
And we would call it black, like that would be the black log, or maybe black Torno Fire. You know, the Torno Fire, that's what it would be. It's like we'd get them like a high octane brew, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and it would be like called the Torno Fire brew,
Oh, that'd be a great brew.
and that would be like
I would
basically it's the essence of having a tornado and a fire mixed together in a test tube, and then that's what your coffee would be
Man,
Mhm.
that sounds like a world of hatred for my belly.
like.
That sounds like the kind of pull cord that'll start my day.
Yeah, it would start my day.
Jumpstart your heart and
Do
your
you have any
colon.
flour that you could put on my roll?
I would gladly get you some flowers because it's the holidays, and I know that you love mistletoe.
Oh, I just wanted some flour to sprinkle it on my roll. So here I am, just, I guess, waiting for them to get that thing rigged all up.
Mm-hmm. And Roman, you haven't said too much about this whole podcast at all.
But he has been in our face about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think you might want the FOOD.
Oh, you want some yum yum? Okay, here we go. I'm like, okay, what is going on, boys? If you don't have that thing tied up in like 5.1 seconds, I'm gonna drop this thing on your
Face.
head with that line from that. I'm gonna pick up this log and drop it on your
I'm gonna make you
fucking
parallel
head.
with the flat Earth.
Here we go. Yes.
And you know what's crazy too is
Here we go. Here we go. What's crazy?
My least favorite part of climbing is those times I have to stay still. As like a beginner, like that's the like
Yep.
I'm okay as long as I'm moving, but then as soon as I stand still, like it's like the whole world like stopped to watch me in a way. And
Yeah. No, it does get, because that's when your mind starts working, you know?
Right.
And like when your mind works, you know, you need to be a good tree climber, you need to stay very task oriented, okay? What's the next task? Staying still is like your worst enemy as a tree climber.
I think
okay?
that's just important as a tree worker.
As a
in
tree
general.
worker in general, yeah, you need to, if you want the days to go by quick, if you want
Yeah, just keep
if
chugging,
you want to
keep
have a
digging.
better day, just be task oriented. Pick a task and do it. So, for example, if you got to go climb to the top, like just don't stop until you get that task of climbing to the top done. There's no time to stop.
Yeah.
You know, that's the task. If the next task is to clean up that big ass mound of brush, you just don't stop until it's done. And, you know, every piece that you put in the chipper is one less piece that has to go in the chipper.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
one more piece of production.
it's one more piece.
One
And
less
if you
piece on
just
the
keep doing it, it's going to be done no
Yeah.
matter what. Every single time, the day has never not finished. And you got to really know that and feel that if you want to be a successful, I guess, tree worker or tree climber. You got to be really down and just be there for the task, be there to get the task done, and then we're moving to the next step. You know what I'm saying? But right now, this is the task, and we have to stay oriented with the task. If you start worrying about how to do the task and trying to insert too many variables, like, well, what if we could do this? What if we could do this? What if we could do this? That's going to ruin. That's not being task oriented. That's being worry oriented. Right? There's always one solution to any task. There's a million solutions to any task, but there's always one solution that's going to accomplish that task.
Do it.
So the first thing you always need to do is make your quick and decisive decision that that's the solution for that task. That can, you know, be aware of the variables, and sometimes that will land you in a spot if you make too quick of a decision.
And that also goes out to ground guys. The time that a climber is taking to get up a tree, instead of kind of like bullshitting waiting for him to get to his cuts, then you should be analyzing probably how it's going to be coming down
Yeah.
and where your best plan of action for the way that tree is going to be coming down from your climber's skills.
Yeah.
Where you want to be planted to be waiting for the brush to come down, where you want to be staging the brush,
Yeah.
making sure all your equipment is good to go, ready, all your saws are warmed up, etc.
Straight up. 100%. Make sure. I implore everybody to get really good at chainsaw sharpening, and it's more simple than you think it is. What makes a good chainsaw sharpener is first you need to understand the technique, which is very simple to understand, and then you need to develop muscle memory. And once you develop the technique plus the muscle memory, you're going to be able to sharpen a saw very good every time. And your saws will run better if they stay sharp. Like the engines will last longer.
Yeah, exactly. Not putting as much stress on it.
Less skipping in the gears and the cogs.
Well, it's especially with these new saws, those computers like to be ran a certain way, right? So if you're running a dull saw all the time, that saw is going to try to overcompensate for all the bog that you're putting on it, right? Because a dull saw bogs like a motherfucker, like a mother pooed your ass. See how I did that? See how I just like rotate? I just turn the saw and a little axis there. Let's see. It actually looks like my shit doesn't. Oh no, it
Looks like it's going to be clean.
Yeah, I think it is going to be clean. Very stupid on my rigging. My climb line and stuff should have been over. This is a good video for me to watch because it's kind of putting that in my face pretty hardcore, and a lot of people could really get on my case. And in fact, I was getting on somebody else's case about this earlier, and so to see me doing it so blatantly, it's kind of funny. Yeah, a lighter.
Yeah, this is one of those times to stay Humboldt, as the
Stay
followers
humble.
say.
Yeah. See, I just put my half hitch in my notch.
Yeah, I was actually just about to say I've noticed that the past couple times that they've set up your timber hitch, and then you'll move it up.
So no, I put a half hitch. It's not a timber hitch is a completely different knot. So that's a bowline, a running bowline.
Right.
Okay. And then that's a half hitch before it.
Underneath it.
Underneath it, yeah, because it's literally just goes and hitches around the rope 1/2 time. See this right there? See that little?
I actually made those.
And so I'll put it in my notch and have it sit there because it takes the weight off the rope and I can more easily tie my bowline. You know, it's important to get all this stuff really nice and tight.
And that's actually the knot I tied for my second tree.
Yeah.
For those couple spars. Sometimes I just tie the knots and go based off of what I've seen.
Yes. Exactly.
Like, I'll always know how to tie off a porter wrap. I never know what it's really called, but
Yeah.
cow hitches and
That's a timber hitch.
yeah. Okay.
When you roll it,
Oh, fair enough.
is that what you're talking about? When
Yeah.
you roll the rope, that's a timber hitch.
Okay.
This is a half hitch
To a running bowline.
to a running bowline. And see how I timber hitched my sling?
Mm-hmm.
I usually run like oh man, what's that called? It's like a basic. I don't even know what it's called. Here, let me get out my phone and look it up.
Oh, you got a grapple truck in the background too, I noticed.
Oh yeah, that's a knuckle boom.
Oh, knuckle boom.
This is working for Gnarly Spice. Yeah.
Was he
That was my favorite Spice Girl.
He's on the job. He's actually like fun to work with, but like he was fun to work with because he was cool. He was cool on the job sites. Like that's the only time he's cool. You know, but just in my opinion, I don't like him because I think that he's not trustworthy, and I have my rights to say that, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, because that's my opinion.
And I mean, is what it is.
Yep.
You work with people you like, and you work with people you don't like.
Oh, and that's the end of our podcast.
Wow. Well,
Yeah. How about
Good night.
that? Anyways, stay safe, y'all.
happy climbing.
Happy
Be
climbing.
safe out there.
Be safe, and yeah.
My hoo-ha!